What is up, everybody? Internet, how is it going? Welcome to Skinny's very first live Q&A session, car shopping advice, whatever you want to call this. I am here to take all of your questions and answers and anything you can throw at me with regards to car shopping, the car business, your own vehicle, whatever it is. Fire your questions over, type them in the comments there. You can text me on my cell phone, 905-409-6354. Get it across to me. We're going to answer some questions. So while I'm building an audience here, I want to talk about my background. So this is distracting. You got all this stuff going on the bottom screen. That's pretty cool. So my background in the car business, I've been in the car business for a little over 10 years now. I started as a young pup as a sales guy with Ajax Nissan, actually. Very cool, very intriguing business. My dad actually, up until about a year ago, had been selling cars for 20 plus years and kind of went in his footsteps. And yeah, I started selling cars and had a lot of fun. Met my wife while I was doing that and sold cars for 3 or 4 years. And we were expecting our first baby when I decided that I wanted to go into something a little bit more stable. So I jumped out of the car business and I went to a company called Car Cost Canada. Now, some of you might have heard of that. Car Cost Canada, really great company. They actually will give you pricing information on new vehicles that you're looking for. And it was a different aspect for me. I was still in the car industry, but I was more on a business side of it. And it got me to talk to a lot of dealer principals, a lot of managers, and have some interactions that way. But more importantly, what it actually really gave me as a benefit is I was able to talk to actual buyers of cars and help them purchase a vehicle with the information they were given from Car Cost Canada. So allow me to sit on your side of the desk as far as a customer and see what kind of challenges you go through. And it really opened up my eyes as to what goes on in the car business, how difficult or how easy it can be to sell cars, buy cars, etc. So with that experience, I started training salespeople at different stores who were part of Car Cost Canada on how to make selling a lot easier and how to make selling a lot easier with Noel Walsh, thanks buddy, thanks for tuning in. How to make cars buying a lot easier with that information. And as I started doing that, a couple of dealers took notice and I got my shot as a sales manager at Sicily Hyundai and had a nice, great young team there and led them for a year and a half. And when I left Sicily Hyundai, I did a luxury thing up in Richmond Hill for a couple of months, and then ended up eventually at Ajax Nissan again, complete 360, where I was the general sales manager for 2 years. And then after that, I have 2 little boys, and I wanted something a little bit different, a little bit less hours, so I came out to Coburg. And Coburg Nissan is honestly, truly, this is where I call home. Absolutely fantastic store to work for. The management team is fantastic. My sales team is amazing. Coburg lifestyle. If you've never been to Coburg, my gosh, get in your car, drive out here, come out on a weekend, go to the beach. Unbelievable. Pardon me. Coburg is just fantastic. And that's where I call home now. And here I'm doing the pre-owned car sales thing. But I've kind of redefined my role when I was out here. I'm more of a product specialist, inventory management, media kind of guy, which is why I'm doing this, which is why I want to do this Facebook Live video for you. I really want to talk to you and show you that, buying a car can be a lot easier, and there's a lot of great car sales guys out there, and the industry's changing. It really has started to change over the last, 4 or 5 years. The internet's done its part, and now consumers are much more informed, and it's, you can get in pricing information. You can, compare 60 different cars online, new cars, used cars. Everything's right at your fingertips. And I think that's when the industry started to change. That's where salespeople, A, to be frank, got more honest, but B, it became more of a customer service industry. And at Coburg, this is especially what I'm pushing, right? My guys here are no holds bars, no obstacles. Some of the stuff that the other stores won't do, we will do, and we've been doing it for months. I'm going on a year at Coburg Nissan, and we really kind of hopefully changed the, the attitude of how we sell to other customers. And it's a make things easy kind of attitude. So that's my background. So if you have any questions, guys, please in the comments type them away. I can see the comments popping up, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And hit that like button, share it with your friends if you can real quick. Just hit the share button there at the bottom and fired off to your newsfeed, that'd be really helpful. I really appreciate that. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for some questions to come through, I've got a little tip for you. So I want to tell you now, in my opinion, how you can get top dollar for your trade-in. Not complicated steps, super, super easy things to do. So number one, when you decide that you're going to go car shopping and you've got a vehicle that you want to trade and sell to the store, once you're in that phase where you're probably about to make that decision, what you want to do is you want to go get your car detailed. Now you can do it yourself by all means, get a bucket and a sponge and some Windex and some, Armor All and go at it and get that car nice and shiny and clean, okay? When I have a car that comes in the lot that someone wants to trade in and I walk out to it and it's shiny, I mean, it is so easy for me to look at it, and impression is everything, right? Just as, when we have first impressions with people, first impressions with cars is a big thing. So when I go out there and I look at a car and it's shiny and I get in and the carpets are clean and, there's nothing, there's no McDonald's fries in the cup holder and all that stuff, that to me says you took care of your car. Hey, you may be fooling me, but at the same time, you took care of it enough to wash it and get it ready for, hi Henry, my son just joined, hi buddy. So it gets the car ready for me to look at it, and I get an impression that the car's been well taken care of, and I can quickly see if there's any small surface scratches, which by the way I don't care about. Any small dings, things like that, I can quickly assess the vehicle and determine what great condition it's in. The second thing you want to do is when you're bringing your vehicle in for trade is take all the accessories that you've bought and bring them with you. And that's, especially in this time of the year, bring your winter tires, or at least one winter tire. Or if it's in the winter time, bring your all-season tire. Bring one of them. So at least that way I can see what the tread depth is on that second set of tires. Don't put all four in the trunk. It's too much work. But put one in there so I can see the tread depth. Bring both of your keys to show me you've got both keys. If let's say you took, you took something off the vehicle. Gosh, I'm trying to think of what you would take off. You took something off the vehicle, or you've added things to the car that you've taken off that you're going to sell. Bring them with you. Bring everything for the car so I can have a look at it and I can give you a value for those, because there is value to them, right? If you trade in a car with 2 sets of tires, that's amazing. I'm going to advertise your car for sale with 2 sets of tires. So bring that with you. Another thing, and I don't think I've seen anybody in the last year do this. Bring your service records, right? Rich has asked, hold on a second, with the tree information, the cars are there, how do you... Okay, so just one second. Rich, I'll get to that question, 1 second, pal. So bring your service records with the vehicle. If I can see that you've had the car serviced at 1 store or 2 stores or whatever the case is across the life of the vehicle, well, guess what? A, that tells me when the last time you did brakes were and when the last time you bought tires were, anything that I'm going to be looking at maintenance-wise. B, if I can keep those records and cross out the personal information, how amazing would that be to sell it to another customer, right? You're looking at a vehicle with 105,000 kilometers, but look, Mr. Customer, here's all the service history on the car. Now, would I pay more to know your service history in the vehicle? 100%, because I can sell that and take that and sell it to the other customer who's buying your car. So it's very valuable, and it helps me see that the vehicle's been maintained. So it's worth some money there. So Rich asked, with that degree of information and the availability of cars and info, how do you differentiate yourself from a flood of other dealers? Rich, great question. First things first, customer service, big one. We got a young team here at Coburg Nissan. We've got a young team here at Coburg Nissan. Like I said already, they're going to go out of their way to make sure all your questions are answered. And to expand on that, one thing that we've been doing really well at Coburg Nissan over the last year is we've been using video, just like this, to show you on your new car or on the pre-owned vehicle you're looking at, any questions, features, colors, whatever it is. So I'll give you an example. I have Dylan Medell in the new car building, fantastic, young, upcoming, rising star. He had a customer the other day say, Dylan, I'm looking for a new Frontier, so-and-so color, whatever the case is. Dylan went out, has the car in stock, grabs his phone, and goes out there and takes a video and says, hey, Mr. Customer, it's Dylan Medell from Coburg Nissan. Thanks for the email. Here's your car right behind you, in stock. Takes him on a quick tour. That customer was sitting overseas in the island, probably having a Corona, gets the video, looks at it and says, I can't believe this. First of all, he's got the car in stock. He had been told by 2 other dealers that they didn't have the car in stock, but they could get it, it'd be no problem, etc. So he didn't really trust that. Here's Dylan showing this guy the truck for him. He came back from the islands, went to our store the next day, bought the car just like that. No questions asked, because Dylan was able to show him with video that we have the car in stock. Now, take that to the next level on a used car. You've got someone looking for a used vehicle. Our guys will go out there with their phone and do a video of the whole car, and they're not scared to show you scratches, dings, dents, whatever it might be. It's going to happen. It's a pre-owned vehicle. But that's how we differentiate ourselves, Rich. We do our best to give you all the information you need. And you know what? You're bringing up something I was going to talk about in a few minutes here. But you know, part of my things to avoid when you're buying a vehicle, when you're buying from another store is, you know, if you've got a customer who's got a trade-in, which we were just talking about, and they want to call you, right? So I'm sitting here, I get a phone call. Hi, Mike, I'm interested in, you know, that Titan you have on the lot. I've got a trade-in. I've got this nice Silverado with 185,000 kilometers. What's it worth? Guess what? You make that phone call to 9 out of 10 dealers. You know what they're going to tell you? I need to see the car. That's their number one response. When can you come in so I can see your truck? Oh, I'm sure it's a great truck. I'm sure. And they're going to tell you a lot of nice things, but they're not going to give you a value. Thanks. I like the beard. Growing it in, Jim. So yeah, they're not going to give you a value of the phone. And to me, 2017, I don't think that's providing value to a customer. So what we do at Coburg Nissan is if you've got a vehicle that you want to trade in and you're calling from out of area, because over half of my sales come from out of area. Coburg's a pretty small town. We sell a lot to the West End, GTA, Niagara, Hamilton, you name it. We'll ask you for all the information, VIN number, kilometers, color, and then we're going to ask you to do us a favor and go out, take 4 or 5 pictures of your trade-in so we can see it. And you know what? I'm going to be very straight with you. I'm going to say, listen, you know, Jim, be honest with me. When you go out there, if you notice a scratch, take a picture of it. Just send it to me. I'm not under the impression it's a perfect car. You know, that's okay. But send me the pictures of the damage so that way I can see what I'm looking at. I can get a full picture and I can give you an on-point value for your car. That's all I ask for, right? I just did a car sale with a gentleman this week who had a 2008 BMW, and I asked him the same thing. He went out, took a couple pictures, took 2 pictures of some scratches, and guess what? No big deal. When he comes here, I'm not going to say, whoa, what's this? And we're not going to have any problems. So I do a lot of car sales without ever having a customer test drive my vehicle, because we do great comprehensive videos, and without me ever having to unhaggle on a trade because I'm asking them for the same honesty in return. So Rich, that's how we differentiate ourselves at Coburg. We're a full service store. We do free shipping. We do appraisals over the phone. Everything's by email and video. So if you don't want to come out here to Coburg because you're in Hamilton and you saw our cars and it's a great price, but you're thinking, my gosh, you know, that's a far drive, don't drive. No problem. Everything over the phone, ship the vehicle right to your home or office, free of charge every time. So that's one of the ways that we differentiate ourselves. So if you have any questions, guys, please in the comments there, just type away. You can, again, if you for some reason can't type, text me 905-409-6354. So I'm going to go back to my points before here about how to get top trade value. So you got to detail your car, bring in all your accessories, your keys, your winter tires, whatever it might be. Service records, bring all your service records that you have so that way I can make some copies, of course, taking out your personal information, but that's a big value to me. Another thing, here's a strange one. If your car's ever been involved in an accident, whether it's minor or major, if you can get the, who else is in here? Oh, who else is in here? If you can get the body shop estimate from that collision, bring it. I want to see it. You'd be so surprised at, you know, a $3,000 or $4,000 accident really ends up being just a bumper and a tail light. It's so minor. But other dealers are going to play that up. They're going to say, oh my gosh, your car's been involved in this big accident, blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. Listen, bring me the body shop bill. Let me have a look at it and let me make a copy of it. It tells a story. Your car is a story. It's been with you for 4, 5, 6, 10 years. There's a story behind that, and if I can take that story and put it into my advertising to sell it again, value goes up and up and up. So service records and body shop bills, bring me that. I had a Rogue the other day that I was amazed. A little crack in the bumper, this big, I'm talking 4 or 5 inches. You probably wouldn't even notice it. I brought it to the body shop to get repaired. It was $1,200 plus tax. Because I had to paint the bumper, install the bumper, and it was pearl white paint. $1,200 for a bumper that had a scratch this big. It wasn't smashed in. So with that, you can see not a big deal for accidents, but the more information you can give me, the better story I can build in my mind. I can then in turn pay you more money because I can sell the car for more. Excuse me, and that's what it's about. You want to take in a car that I can sell quickly, easily, without any kind of hesitations. So that's what I need you to do. Detail it, all the accessories, service records, body shop bills. Bring that stuff to me. The value goes up and up and up. And that's what I'm going to ask you to do to get a higher trade-in value from our store. Okay? Any questions out there? I got 8 viewers. It's not bad. I didn't think I'd have one. All right. What else do we want to talk about? Let's talk about things to avoid. So let's talk about all-in pricing. So this is nothing new, but Ontario especially, we have an all-in pricing law in Ontario. So that means that the price you see a car advertised for is the price you pay plus licensing. Those are dealer advertisements. Manufacturers, they can advertise totally different. Don't ask, that's confusing. But if you see a dealership advertisement, for example, you go on Auto Trader and you see a car on there for $19,990, that car is $19,990 plus HST and licensing fee, and that is it. Okay? Jim asked me, how do you feel about best price online? Jim, love that question. I absolutely love it. I always advertise my prices as best as I can, as aggressively as I can, because in Coburg, I understand I am a destination store. I am not in Ajax. I am not in Scarborough. You're not just going out for milk and going, hey, let's stop in there real quick. My prices to drive more traffic to my store are as best as I can put out there. Because I want you in Hamilton, I want you in Niagara, in Markham, in Vaughan, in Belleville, in Ottawa to see my car in a search list and say, that's cheap. And then start to look at the car. You're going to see my amazing photos. You're going to find a video of that used car online. And then you're going to go, well, hold on, what's the catch? Oh, they're in Coburg. Free shipping, don't worry about that. So you'll get the car, not a big deal. But my best price online is probably the price I represent online. However, you want to pick up the call and say, hey, call one of my guys, Dylan, Ian, Josh, Amanda, Todd, any one of my team, amazing people to work with. Call them and say, listen, I see that 2014 Rogue. It's advertised for $19,900. Is that your best price on the car? Let's have the conversation, right? My conversation with you is going to be to tell you the story of the vehicle, right? So I'm going to take the file. I'm going to say, well, listen, Dylan, thanks for calling. Let me tell you a little bit about the car. This car has no accidents, has a clean car proof. It was actually bought at Coburg Nissan and serviced at Coburg Nissan. And I'm going to tell you the whole story on the vehicle and make you feel confident in the product that you're going to buy. Because guess what? If you call me, I'm assuming that you're a very serious buyer and that you're interested in my car, but you want to make sure that Coburg Nissan is the right store. Because let's face it, there's 130 Nissan Rogues out there. Why buy from me? I'll tell you why. I'll give you the story and I'll make sure you're confident in my product. So you want to ask me at that point, okay, Mike, so that's great. This is definitely the car for me. I love it. I'm not really interested in paying $19,900. Would you take $19,000 for it? Guess what we're not going to do? This is going to blow your mind because I challenge you. Call any other store. Pick the phone up tomorrow and try this. Call any other store and say, would you take $19,000 for your $19,900 car? The very first question is, Mr. Customer, what's your credit card number? Because I'm going to take a deposit if I get that deal. And it's to show my boss you're a serious buyer. And it's and they're going to ask you for a million different things just to ask if they could buy a car for $19,000. How wrong is that? What's wrong with asking the question? And now all my car guys are sitting here watching this video going, what is wrong with you, Skinny? Shut up. No, it's 2017, guys. If you want to call me and ask me, can I buy a car for $19,000? I'm not going to make you prove to me you're a serious buyer. By virtue of picking up the phone and saying, I want to talk to a car salesman, yeah, dude, you're a serious buyer. I'm going to look at my system, I'm going to see if I can make that deal happen for $19,000. Because you chose to call me, Coburg Nissan, and bypass 120 other Nissan Rogues out there. So that's why I like the best price question. Because I get to build my story, show you my brand, show you my sales team, tell you about my service, and then I'm going to tell you what price I can sell it for. And if I can't sell it for $19,000, I'm going to say, listen, I'm really sorry, I can't sell for $19,000, but here's what I can do, and I'm going to make you an offer back. I'm going to tell you what I would be willing to sell it to you for, right? So that's the best price for me. You're going to get an honest answer. You don't have to give me your credit card. You don't have to prove you're serious. You're serious by virtue of picking up the phone, okay? And that's a big thing. That is on my list of things to avoid. It's down my list. Jimmy got to it first, but that's on there, right? You don't need to give a credit card to make a serious offer. I had this conversation in LinkedIn 3 weeks ago, and it kind of blew up. But I don't think you need to prove to me you're a serious buyer. I think if you want to buy a car from me, let's make it as easy as possible. So Jim, thanks for that question. Going back to things to avoid. So yeah, with the all-in pricing, just make sure that when you get a bill of sale, if you were told it's $19,900 plus HST and licensing, that it shows up as $19,900 plus HST and licensing, right? And licensing's not crazy. It's I think $20 for a plate transfer or new plates, which is costs probably like $300 at the ministry now. It's crazy. But make sure that it's all in pricing. Going and talking about a bill of sale. Especially on pre-owned cars. Nobody contacts car dealers for fun. Oh man, you're telling me? Well, there's a few guys I like to call in chat, but don't assume anything. Okay, new cars, used cars. Don't assume anything when you're talking to your car salesperson. If you mention something in passing, they may forget. Right? Honest mistakes happen. If you're talking to me about one of my cars out here, and we notice a scratch on the car, and you say, "Oh, will you fix that?" Yeah, no problem. We'll take care of that for you. And we continue along. And 45 minutes later, you're sitting down, and we have a bill of sale, and we're going over it. Make sure that what we discussed is on the bill of sale, right? It will happen from time to time where we'll forget that we discussed a scratch, or we'll forget that we talked about giving you an oil change, or whatever it might be. And those things happen. But don't take it for granted. Don't think that because the salesperson told you they'll do it, that it will happen. And the reason why I'm saying that, I'm not saying that car salespeople are going to overpromise and underdeliver. That's probably not the case. What's going to happen is that the salesperson is going to tell you, yes, we'll take care of that, but there's a cost associated with it. And then when we start talking about pricing and things, if the manager who's looking at the deal, who's approving that price for you, isn't aware of all the costs that are going to be incurred, that becomes a point of frustration for the salesperson and the sales management, right? And that's where it can lead to sometimes things being overlooked and missed. So if there's something you want done, or if there's something that was discussed, put it down there and just say, let's make notes. And when you get that bill of sale, make sure it says, scratch to be buffed out on the fender, or floor mats included, or oil changes included, or whatever the case may be. Those are great things. Just make sure that whatever you talked about is on that bill of sale, so it's not a surprise at the end. Jim says, Auto Trader in 2016 study said that 72% of Canadians purchase the vehicle they selected online before they visit the selling dealership. I 100% agree. 100% agree. I think that well, there's a lot of things out there, and Jim, you know about this. Jim's a big car guy. The average customer visits 1.2 dealers. I don't know how you get to 1.2, but they're going to visit maybe 2 dealerships before they make a decision to buy a car. And in my honest opinion, if you got a customer that comes in on the lot and they say, "I'm just starting to look," well, I don't know about you, but I don't go look at my second choice first. I'm going to go look at my first choice car the very first visit. So in my mind, as a salesperson, when a customer says, "I'm just started to look," boom, thumbs up. You picked the best car for you with all your research online. You think that this is the first and the best car for you. My job is to not screw it up, right? I don't want to go out there and go, "Oh, okay," and prove you wrong. My job is to go out there and prove you right and say, "Yeah, this is the car for you." So I totally agree. I think that, they probably built and priced the car online. They probably know the payment. They probably know the color they want, and they've probably done it 6 times over. Now they're just coming in to confirm that they like the drive and to, honestly pick a dealership and a salesperson. With used cars, the only variable there is, the things you can't see in pictures, which is some of the minor dings, dents, scratches, and how it would drive because it's a used car. But I think that they're picking what they feel is the best car for them the first time. Yeah, so I do agree with that, Jim. So my last point is I think buying should be easy, right? I think that, there's a lot of, I hate to say older school guys in the business. It depends where you go, but there's a lot of negative stuff around car sales, and it really doesn't have to be like that. When I worked at Ajax Nissan, we had a lot of fun, had a really young team, and we tried to make things, relatively easy to buy cars there. Coming out to Coburg, it is really, honestly, I have a whole new perspective on how to sell cars. Good night, Henry. Love you, buddy. Thanks for the thanks for the comments. Coming out to Coburg, I have a whole new perspective. It's a very laid-back environment here by virtue, right from the top down. The owner here, really super guy. Yep. Really super guy, right? Like really laid back, easy to get along with. And that kind of, that idea and that mentality kind of flows downstream. And we're just having fun here, right? If you want to, going back to my conversation about if you want to get a price on your trade-in, let's give you a price, no big deal. You want to ask me, could I buy the car for 19 grand? I'm not ready to buy it right now, but I might be tomorrow. Sure, why not? Let's do it, right? 19 grand, all right. If I can make it happen, we'll make it happen. But you shouldn't be sitting down with the salesperson going, oh my gosh, this guy, when the sales guy walks away, you look at your wife or your husband and you're going, what the heck is with this guy? Let's get out of here. Man, you're in the wrong store. Just get up and leave. Like, you're begging somebody to take 20 grand, 30 grand, 50 grand from you? Come on. I mean, it's a totally different time. If you can't find a salesperson that you guys are sitting there talking about the J's more than you are the car, wrong store. If you're not sitting there laughing and yucking it up more than you are talking about the payments, wrong store, right? If you're not sitting there talking to a sales guy who's going over each and every feature until you tell him, whoa, dude, I want to drive this car. Like, get me out there on the road, wrong store, right? Go and buy from somebody who's willing to go above and beyond, who's going to give you the customer service that you want, our tagline here is we're your friends in the car business. Legit, that's what we're trying to do. Right? Like, our guys try to make it really easy to buy cars. The repeat business at this store is insane, right? I have customers who have my cell phone, who text me on a regular basis, who invite me out to concerts. Like, I have customers who do amazing things for me because in turn I do amazing things for them. And we build this friendship. I never thought that was possible. Ask me 6 years ago, could you make a friend with a customer? Maybe one or two. I have so many friends that as soon as they leave here, they're adding me on Facebook and we're just chit-chatting and I check in with them. How's your car doing? They come to get an oil change. They're coming over here to sit down with me. That's what we promote. And I know that sounds, really fairy tale, but it's not, right? It really isn't. I'm not saying you got to love me and hang out with me and have dinner with me, but you certainly should be coming over and saying hi to me when you come in for an oil change because that's what I want, right? I want customers that are having a great time. And it's easy to buy a car from us. Sit down, have a coffee, make your selection, let's talk about payments, let's just get everything going, happy, smiling. So is it always going to be like that? Sure, never, right? Everybody's different. Sometimes you just don't vibe. Some people won't like me, but they're going to love Ian. They won't like Ian, they're going to like Josh. But at the end of the day, don't deal with somebody who's making it so hard to buy a car. If they're saying, give me your credit card, I'm not taking an offer without a credit card. Why not? That's insane. Like, you're there sitting with the sales guy. You're telling him, I want to buy a car. And you just don't want the pressure of, forking over a credit card to have, it go disappear somewhere in an office for half an hour. Dude, why would you? I don't blame you. I wouldn't do that either, right? Find someone to make it easy. So if there's any other questions, I'm going to stay on for another 2 minutes or so. Other than that, this has been a great experience. I got to be honest with you, I was pretty nervous when I started. But, if you're watching this back, thanks for tuning in and checking it out. If you showed up live, I really appreciate the support. Thanks so much for all the likes and sharing it with me. And, Tyler. Tyler, everybody likes Tyler. Come on. Tyler's the man. Tyler has more friends in Coburg than Coburg has population. I mean, it's crazy. Oh, thanks, Dad. My dad's watching too. See, now it's embarrassing. But no, thanks so much. If you guys, please, when I'm done this, if you're watching this over, if you have any questions that you didn't get to ask because you weren't able to tune in, please drop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to ask them for you. And if you have any topics you want me to discuss in the future, if there's something you're dying to know, I just did a video on five things to get your car spring and summer ready. Anything like that, please. I love the suggestions. Put them out there. Send it to me. I'm going to get those all tackled for you. And if you have any specific questions and you don't want to put them up there, for everybody to see, you can shoot me a message through Facebook Messenger. You can send me an email, mike@coburgnissan.com, or just fire me off a text or give me a call. It's 905-409-6354. Guys, this is Skinny at Coburg Nissan. I hope you really liked this video. I hope it was positive, fun, entertaining, and most importantly, informative to you. If you're sitting in front of a car salesperson tomorrow, the next day, a month from now, a year from now, and you're sitting there arm wrestling, there is a better place to do business. It's at Coburg Nissan. We may not be your first choice in car, but we should be your first choice in sales. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and have a great night.